Hello, this is the SGC Power Cube SG-500 500 watt HF linear amplifier made by SGC. The company is no longer in business, and this is probably several years old. I came across it recently, and I just thought I would demonstrate what it can do. It covers 1.6 to 24 megahertz in the domestic version. Now, the only difference in the domestic version and the export model, and if you look down here, you can see where it says export version only, and there's an asterisk there, and there's your bands, and there's an asterisk right beside 24 to 30 megahertz. So that band won't work on the domestic version, but this does. It covers 24 to 30 megahertz just fine. I don't know if it was manufactured that way or if it was modified. Looking inside, it just looks absolutely beautiful. I see no signs that anybody ever did anything to it. There's the serial number, and it is built like a battleship, really thick aluminum, and this whole bottom down here is one big heat sink, and it's all one big piece. As you can see, the sides of the heat sink here. So sitting on top, its matching power supply, which is rated for 50 amps, and it actually puts out 16 volts DC at 50 amps. Now, it's rated for 500 watts single sideband, and if you want to run CW, you can, but you're limited to a period of key down of 10 minutes, I think it is. And then for more power than that, you need to get a 90 amp power supply. But I don't see any point in that. See, it says 500 watts PEP and CW. So it will do that quite easily. I've tried it. Now, there's a guy on YouTube that demonstrates one where he has it up to about 800 watts, and I don't recommend doing that. His power supply was fully capable, but I don't know if the amplifier can handle that for long. Right here, and it's hard to see what there is here. Let me see if I get this light on it here. All right, we got a jumper strap on the left, and that's for a remote control off-on switch. I just leave that on the top two pins, so you can turn it off and on here with the power switch. And these two switches right here are for automatic or manual, filter or push-to-talk. Push-to-talk is the normal mode to use, and whether it's manual or automatic, it's rather confusing. You can read the manual, and the manual just goes all over the place with it. But I can tell you this: here's how I've got it hooked up, and the only way that it works without any transceiver interconnections other than the antenna is by grounding the push-to-talk lead. So it's not in transmit, and it will not go into transmit until it receives some RF. So I'm in sideband mode, and I'm going to squeeze the mic here and talk. Now you can see nothing happens, but when I talk, hello, testing, 1, 2, 3. And you can see this top light here says XMIT, come on, and then it shows you which band. Hello, test, 1, 2. So we are on the 2.1. I can't read it very well, but it's I'm on 80 meters right now, 3715 kcs, lower sideband. So I will show you what I'm set on 25% power, which is pretty close to about 25 watts drive. And I've got a LP 700 meter testing 1 2 1 2. So so there you have 500 watts. And you want to be careful. I think I am driving it just a little hard. Turn it down to about 23 watts. Test 1 2 1 2 1 2. Hello, test. Let's see. We can monitor that by test 1 2 1 2 3 4 5. So audio sounds quite good. Now the thing is, there's no need to switch bands on the amplifier at all, but you can do it manually if you want. You would put this switch in the manual position on the filter select, and then you would need a wire for each one of these terminals to a rotary switch, and then you could manually switch bands by turning the switch if you'd want to do that. But otherwise, you just simply talk, and it does it for you. And if you have an error, like high SWR or over temperature or over voltage error, it'll tell you, and it will kick the amp out of the circuit. They do recommend using manual push-to-talk, and I can tell you it's more pleasant to use, and you can do that really easily just by coming off of the amplifier output of your the keying output of your transceiver, and on the ICOMs it's labeled send. The 7300 and the 7610 are both labeled send. So I just stuck an RCA jack or plug in the jack on the back, and here I got a wire here. I take this jumper out and hook the ground lead to here and the push to talk here. This green thing is a plug, and it just pulls out, so that you can work on it without having to deal with it in the circuit here. Let's see. Look, we can switch bands. Now, one thing that I noticed, as you go up in frequency, it takes more drive to get your 500 watts. So going to 10 meters, hello test. All right, you can see there it's switched to the top band. That's the 24 to 30 megahertz. And we're only getting about 173, 180 watts. So you have to increase your drive, and I think it takes quite a bit. So there's 90%. Test 1 2 1 2 1 2. So it's almost right there. 100 watts really it takes to drive it to full power on 10 meters. But every band works. It just senses the RF from the rig, triggers the amplifier, and then triggers the appropriate low-pass filter in the amplifier to change bands. And that's it. It's just really simple and easy to use. These are number 6 gauge wires that they recommend. And it does have ALC facilities if you want to tap into that right here and run that to your ALC input on the transceiver. You can use that to regulate your power, so you can just theoretically leave your output on the transceiver at 100 watts, and that'll knock it down to whatever it's needed on whichever band. And that's a nice thing. Notice it says voltage range of 10 to 18 volts. This power supply again is 16 volts. There's not a scratch, a dent, or any sign of use on this thing at all. It's just absolutely beautiful. So I think it plugs into the 110 outlet. The power supply does, or you can just hook this to your car battery and run it from the trunk of your car. And of course, it would take some bigger cables than this, I would think, for a long run. And this power supply will also convert to 240. There's a wiring change on I think there's a diagram on it somewhere where you can change that. The manual is online. I downloaded it here, and it's got a lot of confusing information, and like I said, the best way to do it, just turn your power all the way down on the transceiver and gradually turn it up so you see about 500 watts PEP, and then you should be good to go. I think that's about it. So thanks for watching.